Hey guys, yeah, I wanted to make another video about LANDR distribution because I've been getting so many comments, too many that I can reply to in a timely manner. And so I wanted to make this video that's really doing a price comparison between all of the features that LANDR distribution offers and the other apps that you can choose. And a lot of you guys might say, like, look, isn't this just a LANDR commercial? And I'm going to be talking about all kinds of companies, and some of these companies offer really great services that you actually might want to sign up for. And this is not just like LANDR is better than all of these companies. That's definitely not true. For example, like there is a marketplace in LANDR where you can, get services, and you can hire, producer and instrumentalist and all that stuff. But Sound Better Premium is probably better. The real question is, do you want to pay $99 a month to be a provider? This is not to access the marketplace. This is to be a provider and offer your services, when you can just offer your services in the LANDR marketplace for free, included with your LANDR Studio subscription. And so that's the real analysis that I want to do today. And it's really a question that you need to ask yourself personally. Do I want everything that the world can offer, or am I good having almost all of the same features and opportunities, but maybe they're dialed back a little bit? Some of them are honestly better. Like in LANDR, you get a lot more samples in their sample library compared to Slice. I'll cover that in this video. But are you okay with getting almost all of the same features? Some of the features are better in a LANDR Studio subscription. That's why I'm such a big fan of LANDR. I've been doing this LANDR series, and honestly, you guys have been really enjoying it. They've noticed that I've been doing this series, and they've offered a discount to viewers of the channel. They're also running a huge discount right now. If you're watching this video near when I'm uploading it, I highly recommend checking out their summer sale. I'm not sure if the coupon in the description stacks on top of this summer sale. I'm not sure. You'd have to try it out yourself. But no matter how you slice it, there's a huge discount on LANDR right now. So no matter what, it's probably worth checking out. But here's the thing. LANDR Studio includes distribution, sample libraries, plugin libraries, the collaboration software, their mastering software, learning. They call it Learn. This is their course library, and the professional marketplace, where you can either purchase services, right? You can pay someone to create your Spotify canvas for you, or to do photo editing or video editing, or mixing or mastering, or even do session work, recording specialized instruments and stuff like that. All of that is inside of LANDR Studio. And on their website, it's kind of confusing the first few times. But on their website, they break it down where you can see, like, yes, you get all these things. You get the collaboration software. It's all one mega subscription, which includes distribution and includes unlimited distribution to a bunch of stores. But over here in this little document, this is not fancy or anything, but I listed the other apps that you'd have to sign up for to get the same suite, right? Because what this really is a suite of tools for the modern day musician, right? For someone who is producing themselves, for someone who is going to utilize a sample library, a plugin library, like all these plugins. You can see that I have Slate Digital as an example. I'll pull all of this on the screen later in the video so you can see more of a side-by-side, right? The collaboration software is for someone who does want to collaborate with other artists, or maybe they're starting their own production business, right, and they want to interface with clients, right, face to face. And the collaboration software that LANDR invented has that in mind, where you can have a higher audio resolution Zoom room, and you don't have to worry about the quality being degraded on the other end for your clients, right, or for your another artist that you're collaborating with, for example, right? Plus, there's the AI mastering. The equivalent would be like human mastering. The learning library. I've always liked pickupmusic.com. That's a shout out to them if you want to learn music. But you already have dozens of courses in the LANDR library as well. And so I think that's worth checking out. And then, of course, the marketplace. So this is the overview, and I found all the prices. I'll add this up later, but I wanted to bring up on screen So we can compare it side by side, because you might be thinking, yeah, LANDR is enough for me. And that's totally fine. You know, LANDR is an awesome suite, and I think it gets you pretty much either half the way there or most of the way there in all of these categories. But I also wanted to show you, and a lot of viewers, that maybe you haven't heard of these other apps and these other companies before. And once again, this is not necessarily just a LANDR commercial. I want you to see what these other companies are doing too. And maybe you'll think about signing up for one of these because it's a better fit. I don't care. You do what's best for you. I'm just trying to bring you information. But let's go through these other apps as well, and we can kind of compare them side by side. So obviously, Distrokid is very famous for their music distribution. I put them down as $333 a month right here for their distribution subscription, right? And to compare that to LANDR, you get a lot of the same stuff. Let me go to the pricing, which is right here. Yeah, so the LANDR distribution pricing, you can break it out. It's a lot more expensive if you get Distribution Pro, but Distribution Basic is about the same price as Distrokid. Yeah, it's like basically in between Musician and Musician Plus. Actually, the Distribution Pro is a little more expensive than Distrokid, but the point I'm trying to bring home is that you get unlimited uploads with LANDR, you get unlimited uploads with Distrokid. I'd say it's fairly comparable. You'd have to pay $3.33 a month if you're creating your own stack. That's included in LANDR Studio for $19 a month. And I'm getting that price right here. Well, once again, they are running a huge sale right now, but if you switch it over to the monthly plan, I'm just going off of their standard tier of LANDR Studio, which gives you just a bunch of stuff. And I've outlined it all right here. You actually get more sample library credits and you get more plugins if you go yearly. That's one thing I actually just noticed right now. When you toggle this button in LANDR, that is a distinction that kind of upgrades you if you decide to pay yearly. And also the yearly billing is hugely discounted right now for their summer sale. So if you're watching this in the future and you're seeing different prices, that's just because they're running a sale right now. But there is a coupon in the description that LANDR did provide for viewers of this channel. So either way, I'm hoping that if you do want to check out LANDR, you can probably get some kind of discount and pay even less than what I have in my little simple Google Doc right here. This is not fancy, once again. This is just to kind of break it down, do a little bit of brainstorming for you. Okay, so Distrokid we covered. Let's go back to this other tab and let's talk about the sample library. I used to subscribe to Splice, it's a great product. What you do is you pay monthly. It's $19.99 a month, and you'll get credits. So you get 200 sample library credits in your just like in your account, and you get to spend those credits on samples. And when you sign up for LANDR, you get a very similar thing. And in fact, let me go into the LANDR app, and I'll open this in a new tab, and I'll show you what this looks like. If you go into the sample library area, it looks just like Splice, where you can browse these different albums. Some of them are trap, some of them are retro, drum beats, all of this stuff. And you can click into one of these, and you can audition and heart and save and download all these samples, and you can use them in your own production. And they are royalty free. You don't have to clear them when you distribute. So that's what I mean by sample library. And Splice offers 200 credits for $19.99, whereas LANDR on the annual plan offers like, how much more? Like 9 times more credits for, once again, $19 a month. Honestly, the Splice subscription is the same price as LANDR Studio. So now I'm going to be totally fair. Like, I've used Splice before, and Splice is a massive sample library. It has a lot more options, a lot more albums. They organize the sample libraries into albums compared to LANDR. However, it's kind of going back to that mindset that I talked about earlier in the video, where it's like, do you need everything that the world has to offer, or can you have a successful career, or can you be a successful artist getting most of what the world has to offer, or getting most of everything that you need for less? That's kind of how I see LANDR, and I've been, recommending LANDR for years. Like before I even did this series, I've always recommended them because I was a big fan of their mastering. But and then they rolled out distribution, and I recommended them for multiple years. And I think that still to this day, I still think that it's just a great bargain that gets you a lot of things that that I've literally bought in the past and I've paid for month after month. Like I used to be a Splice subscriber myself for sample libraries, but like LANDR gives you almost everything. It's not the same. I wouldn't say it's apples to apples. It's not like up there in breadth and quality. I'm specifically talking to their sample libraries, but it's good stuff that is usable. That I think it gets you most of the way there. So, without beating a dead horse, let's move on to the next category, which is plugins. This is Slate Digital, which is a great plugin pack. I've subscribed to them. I've purchased a lot of Slate plugins, so I'm a big fan of Slate as well. So if you subscribe to Slate for $14.99 a month, you get all kinds of stuff. You get their mastering plugin. You get these cool kind of like 500 series rack plugins where you can move them around, like some Neve preamps, compressors, all this stuff. Scrolling down, you get some cool synths. You get this virtual guitar rack, these like pedal emulators, all these really cool things, right? With Slate Digital, like cab emulators, right? And it just goes on and on and on. Like this is a massive plugin subscription. Now, obviously, you don't get something this intense with LANDR, but what you do get is something very usable. Let me find that part of the website where it shows you what you get. Here are some of the effects that they offer. They offer like a great reverb plugin. You get kind of like a very similar, they're calling it mix box, but it's like this 500 series, like interchangeable EQ compression. You get like this Neve console preamp, very similar thing to what Slate offers. Now, I'm not saying that they're equal, but can this get you most of the way there? I think so, especially if you're an artist on a budget. This could be a great option. If you do want the best of everything that the world has to offer, then I'm glad you're watching this video, because you should check out these other companies and these other providers, because they're all really good, but you can get a lot of the same things inside of LANDR, and that's all I'm trying to highlight today. And then you also get some great synths. You get the Arturia Analog Lab. You can get these kind of more vintage-looking synths, as well as some modern weird ones. And then you also get a very similar like guitar amp emulator plugin, similar to Slate Digital. And there are a lot of these plugins that are out there from multiple different manufacturers. But once again, they have their own version. And for a lot of artists and a lot of producers, especially someone who's just trying to get into music, maybe they want to start with a suite of tools that can kind of get them in a lot of these categories and at least introduce them to a lot of these plugin categories. LANDR can do that. And you also get Ableton Live Lite included as well. So that's kind of like the plugin comparison. You get 28 plugins included with LANDR Studio, no extra cost. If you wanted to get a more dedicated, more professional plugin suite, then Slate Digital would run you $14.99 a month. Next, the collaboration software is really cool. It's basically like a high-resolution Zoom room where you can share audio files. You can also annotate timestamps onto the audio files, and other apps do this. You can do this in Dropbox. But that would be like using Zoom and Dropbox, which are two different apps. LANDR kind of married those different features together because it kind of makes sense for audio creators and audio users, right? So you could share your WAV file, you can upload it, share it with your producer or your collaborator, and they can offer time-stamped feedback, and you can even get on a high-resolution kind of Zoom video room, and you can share your DAW screen, and all of the audio is high res. So if you were going to purchase a Zoom subscription, because you wouldn't be able to use the free Zoom because they cut you off after, I think, 45 minutes, right? LANDR has no time limit on these rooms. So you would have to kind of purchase a Zoom subscription to get apples to apples there. It would run you $15.99 a month, billed monthly. And so there's kind of like a price comparison there. If you are a producer, or if you're doing a lot of remote session work and you wanted to have those unlimited time limits on your Zoom rooms, right, you'd have to pay. So you do get that with LANDR, which is kind of nice, especially if you want to do more professional services as a musician. Next, LANDR mastering. This one admittedly is not anywhere near apples to apples, because you can either use the AI mastering in LANDR, where you get unlimited credits if as a LANDR Studio subscriber, or you can just hire a human mastering engineer. But obviously that's going to give you a different result. That's going to give you arguably a better result, probably a more organic sound. They're probably using outboard gear. But just to give you a price comparison, if you went to soundbetter.com and you hired this guy, Epicenter Mastering here in Nashville, he charges $200 per song to master. And you would get something different than just AI mastering. Your music would be run through all of this outboard gear. You would have a real human, hopefully in a tuned and treated room, making those adjustments for you custom. And so, again, this is not apples to apples, but if you are someone just starting out, or you have a lot of songs that you need to master, you're looking for an easier way to do it, a cheaper way to do it, you do get unlimited AI mastering in LANDR Studio. And so, once again, just making you aware of the price comparison here. I put down $50 because if you do go around soundbetter.com and you kind of search, you can find cheaper mastering engineers on SoundBetter. But if you wanted to get something a little more industry standard and premium, you're going to have to pay a lot more than just $50. So wrapping up this video, the learning library in LANDR, it doesn't have a lot of courses. It has more than you can probably watch in a week, dozens of courses. But comparing it to pickupmusic.com, I think that there's enough to get started in LANDR. And if you wanted to learn more about music theory, you wanted to learn guitar, you wanted to learn jazz, or you want to learn different styles of music, then pickupmusic.com would be a more comprehensive option. And they're charging $14.99 a month, I'm pretty sure. So $180 a month, which works out to $15 a month. And if you want to pay monthly, then it actually goes up to $30 a month to join Pickup Music. Let's compare that to LANDR, which I think I have there. Now let me go and dive into their course library so you can get a sneak peek behind the scenes. If you browse their premium courses, you get a lot of things. You get Ableton tutorials, FL Studio Logic. You can learn guitar, music theory, sound design. You can learn music promotion, mixing tutorials are all in here. So you have a lot to start with in LANDR courses. They call it Learn in their kind of suite of apps. But it's definitely not as widespread. It's definitely not as comprehensive as another site like Pickup Music. So maybe you check it out. Maybe LANDR will be enough for you, or maybe you already have this knowledge from music school, or maybe you've taken lessons growing up, and maybe you do need something a little more advanced like pickupmusic.com, where they will actually have advanced music education in video format for you. And seriously, I've been a subscriber of Pickup Music before. I really like their platform. I've learned a lot. So I'm honestly making recommendations left and right. Like LANDR, I love. Pickup Music, I love. Like, check them all out and make the decision that's best for you. But all I'm trying to say, especially because I got so many comments and questions about this, is it worth? I think it's worth it. Like, you're getting a ton of stuff for just $19 a month. A lot of these other subscriptions are either the same or more, and especially when you add it up, it's more. And so I just wanted to make you aware of all these other companies that I've actually used and subscribed to and have been a patron of in the past. So I'm not just just saying LANDR is the best across the board. LANDR is not the best in every category, but it does bring so much to the table, especially when you start adding up all these multiple subscriptions that you're going to have to pay for, which brings us lastly to SoundBetter Premium. I used to be a SoundBetter Premium subscriber. That I made a lot of my income that way years ago when I was doing a lot more production work. Back when I was a subscriber, SoundBetter Premium was around $69 a month or $65 a month. I can't remember exactly, but it was around there. The price has gone up since SoundBetter Premium is now $99 a month. You have to apply, but then you become one of those premium providers on the platform. Let me show you what that looks like. If you're searching for like a beat maker, for example, right? You get listed as a provider, and if you pay for SoundBetter Premium, then you are listed higher in the rankings, and you also get some more features. So that's how SoundBetter works. LANDR has their own marketplace, which I'll pull up on the screen right now. It looks like this. So you can hire pros. It's almost exactly like SoundBetter. You have all these categories, so you can go in here, you can browse the different pros, and you can click on their profile, view their services. Let me click into here. You can see the reviews, and this guy only has one review. Let me find someone with more reviews. Yeah, let's check out Katie. So let's see what Katie does. Looks like she's been doing guitar tracks for people. She's been writing lyrics for people. She made a Spotify Canvas video. She did an album art for some. So she seems to be a multi-talented musician and graphic designer. And she's offering her services on LANDR and getting paid to do so. And with LANDR, you don't have to pay. Well, with SoundBetter, you don't have to pay either. But if you want to be a premium provider, you have to pay that $99 a month. And for LANDR, you can become a verified provider by having a LANDR Studio subscription. So once again, this is not apples to apples. SoundBetter is a better platform, like across the board. It's longer running, it's more established, there are more providers. However, SoundBetter is very saturated. And if you wanted to become a provider and offer your services, and you didn't want to pay $99 a month, coming into SoundBetter as a free user might put you at a huge disadvantage because there's just so much competition, right? You're going to be competing against so many other providers. Whereas entering the marketplace in LANDR, you actually might have a shot. It's a smaller pool, and you can hopefully become a bigger fish in a smaller pond. So that covers all of the different categories of all the features that you get with LANDR Studio. Now, this is going to be a completely arbitrary exercise. Like, this means nothing. But if you were to add up all these other subscriptions and put it side by side with LANDR's pricing, the difference is ridiculous. Let me get a calculator really quick because I'm dumb. I didn't do this in a spreadsheet. This is just a Google Doc. But let me add up all of these subscriptions and see what this final price comes to. Now, once again, you're not going to get every single feature exactly mirrored in LANDR. LANDR is going to have their own version of all of these apps, but the price comparison would be interesting to find out, right? So let me grab my calculator and I'll add all of this up and we'll see what this comes out to. So for distribution, that would be $333 for Distrokid. Adding Splice for sample libraries would be $19.99. Then adding Slate Digital, which would give you some good plugins, would be $14.99. Then getting an unlimited time limit on your Zoom room, that would be $15.99. And then getting, let me just say, yeah, let's just do one mastering. Even though you get unlimited mastering with LANDR, I'll just put $50 for just one mastering gig, which is really going to drive up the price, but that's real world right there. And then the Learn library in LANDR, the equivalent there would be getting a pickup music subscription, which would be $14.99 a month. And then, honestly, I'm going to leave out SoundBetter Premium because that's just going to be ridiculously expensive. But let's say you joined SoundBetter for free. You can also join the marketplace at LANDR for free. So I'm just going to hit equals here. And this comes out to $119 worth of apps and subscription services every single month. And LANDR is giving you a very similar experience, a very similar suite of tools for your professional music creation and services, if you offer services, right? For a fraction of that, for literally 19 bucks a month. It's even cheaper right now because once again, they're having a sale. There's also a discount link in the description below. But man, so obviously, once again, I've been saying this the whole video. This is not a scientific process. This is really just a mental exercise, but just the difference is huge. And I've literally paid for multiple of these other apps before, right? I've paid for, well, I used to be on Distrokid, like for real, but I've also paid for Splice, Slate Digital, and Zoom, and I was also a Sound Better premium provider, right? So I've literally lived this where I was paying multiple subscriptions every single month, and now LANDR comes out and they're offering something very similar for a lot cheaper. So I thought that was a really interesting mental exercise. So if you haven't checked out LANDR yet, check it out. They're offering a sale right now. I didn't even know that they were going to run a sale when I first started planning this video, but it just works out. If you're watching this near the upload, go ahead and check it out. You could maybe save a lot of money as this summer sale is going on. I didn't even realize they were doing this. But yeah, you guys were asking a lot about if LANDR was worth it. You know, what do you get? Like, what exactly does it look like on the back end? So hopefully this video helps you decide, especially because we were doing kind of like a distribution series here on the channel, and there's a lot of questions about LANDR because LANDR is such a interesting, different option from all the other distributors out there, and it's really more than just a distributor. It's kind of like a professional suite of tools specifically crafted for musicians. And so that's why I think you guys had so many questions about it, and there were so many comments on the channel, I couldn't even respond to them all. So that's really the point of this video, and I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you have any follow-up questions or if you have any questions about any of these other apps, because I've used literally all of them, actually. So I'm coming from a place of experience. And so if you have any questions about those, questions about LANDR, which I'm a big fan of, yeah, just drop them below. And if you have any requests for future topics or reviews on the channel, you can drop those in the comments below as well. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget about the discount code that's in the description below if you do want to check out LANDR. And I'll see you guys in a future video on the channel. Take care.